Hi, welcome back to another edition of Max and Nikki 1000th Time Reactions.
Where we react to a song after listening to it for our 1000th time.
Mm-hmm. We release 3 videos a day, every day, so make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all this amazing content of ours.
That's right.
Right
now, we are going to be listening to Reminiscing by the Little River Band.
Now, this happens to be one of my top 5 favorite songs of all time.
Of all time?
It is so good. I've definitely listened to this song thousands of times. I remember my older brother got me the album that this is on for Christmas when I was in high school at some point because he knew I loved this song so much.
Well, it was not only that, we have the track, digitally as well, of course, and this would be one of the songs that I had this little MP3 player that could only hold a few songs really on it, maybe about 20 songs or something like that. And when I was traveling around Europe, this would be one of the songs on there that would cycle and shuffle through. So I heard this a lot traveling around that year.
It's a great song. And before we react to it, just want to remind you all, as we usually do, that we have another YouTube channel called Max and Nikki, on which we perform oldies tunes, jazz standards, and originals in that vein. And we have comedy videos on there as well. So make sure to check that out.
That's right. But for right now, let's take a listen to Little River Band's Reminiscing.
Here we go. For our 1000th time.
Here we go.
The night
classic. It's just a classic song.
It's classic.
You know, it's one of those late 70s, early 80s adult contemporary songs that
has been categorized now as yacht rock.
I don't like to call it yacht rock.
I don't really like to call it that myself.
But this is falls under that category, you know, with like the Doobie Brothers and Robbie Dupree and, you know, that late 70s, early
and
80s
Chicago,
sound, you know, adult contemporary sound.
But I like that. I mean, first of all, what a mean solo there at the end on the
trumpet solo.
Trumpet solo, yeah.
But the guitar solo after the first chorus, that's really good too, you know? There's a lot of cool things going on. First of all, I just wanted to comment on the bass. I think the bass is so... I really like the sound of the bass on it. You know, you do hear a bit of low end, but it's very clear and it really grooves along very well.
Sure,
you know?
Sure. I love their kind of their bongo drums, I guess.
Yes, there's these bongo drums along with a regular drum kit going on.
Sure, but it kind of gives this sort of kind of laid back feel.
Well, so I was thinking about it. What makes these songs sound the way they do? You know, these kinds of, you know, late 70s, early 80s adult contemporary songs. Is it the mix of instruments?
There's kind of this laid backn's to it. There's
but it's also the influence of jazz.
There's a jazz influence in there for sure too.
I mean,
and
there's
you know what? Also, it's part of it is that the people performing it are older. It seems like they're probably in their 30s at least.
At that time, yeah.
At that time,
not that that's old or anything. I mean,
no, not that that's old. I mean, but they're older than
we're in our 30s. But
you know, usually you think of like, oh, rock and rollers is like kind of the youth in a way, I guess. And I guess they're, you know, people that are in their maybe late teens or their 20s, you know. But these guys were. There's a mature sound to it, you know.
Sure,
there's a mature sound to it.
Obviously,
there's a polished quality
to it. But you know, there's definitely, I think, the jazz influence has something to do with it. The chords, you know, there's these, you know, major seventh chords, which add to that quality. I mean, also the instrumentation. I mean, that keyboard sound is really prominent in there, and there's something interesting at the beginning of the song with that electric guitar that's kind of grooving along in the beginning and throughout the song. But you really hear this almost. There's these frequencies. It's like these transients going on that you hear.
I know.
You know?
Well, I don't know if they're. I might be. He might be using. It sounds like almost like a. Is there a 12-string guitar going on there, like one of those Rickenbackers?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. Or maybe is there a chorus pedal going on there? But there is something. Yes, I know you're talking about something in the kind of treble area.
Yeah, very high. These transients. It sounds like.
There's also, I was going to mention, I forgot actually.
You know, we heard this song initially, again, around that time that we were, you know, maybe 11, 12 years old, where they would sell these compilation albums on the TV. You need to call an 800 number to order them. And on this, it was a bunch of those adult contemporary songs. You know, you had this song, you had Steal Away by Robbie Dupree, you had... You know,
I think you had Muskrat Love.
Escape by, you know, the Pina Coladas song, you know.
By Rupert Holmes. Rupert Holmes.
You had Hot Child in the City.
You had, who does Hot Child in the City again?
I'm forgetting. I think it's like Nikki
Hot
something.
Child in the City.
You had If You Leave Me Now by Chicago on there.
I think it's just called If You Leave. No, right.
No, it's If You Leave Me Now. Oh, yeah, If You Leave is the Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark.
Oh, right, that's right.
That's on the other compilation.
That's on the other compilation album that we were talking about in a previous video. But also, there was Muskrat Love by America.
Are you sure that's on here?
I'm not sure.
I don't think it was.
It's also a good song, though.
But sure, well, yeah, it is a good song. But a lot of good, you know, late 70s, early 80s. And we found out about that. And then I remember when we got the channel VH1 Classic when we were in middle school, we saw the actual music video of this, and they did seem like these older guys.
Well, that's what I meant. They kind of just had a
maturity to them.
A maturity to them that kind of went. It kind of made me think of. I guess it makes you think of like early Cheers or something like that. I guess, you know.
Sure.
Something like that.
You know, it's interesting that so the guy who wrote this song, he actually. In the music video, at least, he's just one of the sort of guys singing background harmonies in it.
Oh, really?
He's not playing an instrument in it, you know?
Oh, that's interesting.
And it seems like, is he just a background singer in this? But he wrote the song, you know, and I think he wrote a lot of Little River Band's hits.
Oh, okay. But we could keep going on about this song, but I think that's all we're going to talk about.
Actually, you know what's interesting?
Okay, I guess
real quick is after the original lead singer left the band, Glenn something, I can't remember.
Oh, by the way, Glenn, they were, when they mentioned Miller's band was better than before.
Glenn Miller's band.
When I originally heard the tune, I thought they were talking about Steve Miller Band.
Oh no!
It's very obvious they're talking about Glenn Miller Band because they're do this with the horns, and that's
hold on, no, I
representative
thought
of Glenn Miller.
It sounded like they were saying Bette Miller's, like almost. It sounded like Bette Midler's, but
I never thought that.
I never thought they said Bette Midler, but it sounded like
Bette Midler.
Bette Miller. They say it sounded like they're saying Bette Miller. It doesn't sound like he's saying Glenn Miller.
No, it does sound like he's saying Glenn Miller for sure.
Glenn Miller's band was better than before. I mean,
no, he doesn't say Glenn Miller. He just says Miller's band. They don't say Glenn Miller.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty
sure they say Glenn Miller's band.
No, I don't think he says Glenn Miller.
Anyway,
I think it just
obviously,
Miller's
if you
band,
guys don't know, Glenn Miller was, the most famous orchestra,
big band
leader of the late 30s and early 40s. But he actually went missing in action during World War II. He volunteered I think he was like 40 years old, and he was a fighter. He was a pilot, and he.
Oh, he was a pilot? I thought he was actually just performing for the troops.
No, he was a pilot, and but his plane went missing in action over.
No, I don't know if he actually saw action. I think he was, but there was something about him flying. Oh, maybe you're right. I don't remember actually, to be honest, the story, but.
I think you're doubting. A lot of people were very gung ho about
that's right,
supporting America
Jimmy
at the
Stewart.
time.
No, but I think I read recently that he wasn't actually. I could be wrong.
Anyway, he went missing in action.
Not missing in action.
Arguably the most popular,
arguably
the most popular musician at the time,
sure,
in America went missing in action. And
I don't know if he was missing in action. I don't know if he was in action.
No, he was missing in action.
No, he wasn't in action. I think he got lost.
They never found his body or the people that were in that plane, unfortunately. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That doesn't really have anything to do with the Little River Band. Anyway, this is a great song.
Well, they were reminiscing about Miller's band.
I love this song. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. I hope you love it too. That'll be it for this video. If you like what you heard and saw today, please hit that subscribe button and make sure to ding that post notification bell to find out about more Max and Nicky reaction videos.
Please keep tuning in.